Welcome back everyone, Meanpooh here, and today we have the Acer Nitro 5. This is the new 2020 version, model number AN517-52-52T3. The Nitro 5 arrived in this box, which has an advertisement for Planet 9. I have no idea what it is, and I can only assume that it's a game. There's also some robots fighting in the background. On the left side of the box are serial numbers, a MAC address, and the model of the laptop. On the right side, there are specs for the machine. The back of the box is plain, which shows a battery explosion if handled wrong. Inside the box is a quick guide. There's also a support pamphlet, and if you start to have some serious problems with the machine or any laptop that you buy, I advise you to return it to the store if you're under the return period. Wrapped in plastic is a setup guide. Inside this small black box, we have the power brick, which is the AC adapter. A hard drive upgrade cable, the power cord for the AC adapter, the screws for a hard drive upgrade, and a key ring with a clasp on the end. Pulling out the laptop, it is surrounded by thick styrofoam. This seems to provide some good protection from damage just in case it falls while on the UPS or FedEx truck. Removing the protection, the Nitro 5 is enveloped in a black cloth material. It's pretty thin and can slide out on one side. This is the top view. The logo is upside down so that it can be read correctly when the lid is opened by passerbys. The lid has some designs engraved on the plastic lid. It looks and feels like metal, but it isn't, as I took a magnet to it. Just like the previous Nitro 5s, fingerprints really stand out. Near the exhaust of the machine, there are the words Nitro in red. The font is nice and they are not engraved into the plastic like the previous models. Opening the lid, there's another cloth protecting the keyboard and panel. The keyboard and touchpad feel exactly like the previous Nitro 5s. It's not the best, but they are very functional. This machine did not come with the Zone RGB, and I wonder if those are reserved for certain regions or the unreleased RTX models. The keys on this model are two-tone red and black and can't be changed. To the left and right of the touchpad are stickers advertising Core i5 10th Gen, NVIDIA GTX, NVIDIA GeForce GTX, 2 SSDs plus a hard drive, a narrow bezel, killer Ethernet and Wi-Fi, NitroSense and Cool Boost, HDMI and DTS-X. The machine looks pretty clean, and like I said before, as soon as your fingerprints get on it, it's really hard to get off, so just keep a cloth beside you or on hand just to wipe it down because it's black and it's real shiny and it's going to show. Starting on the left side, we have a Kensington lock slot, which connects to a Kensington compatible security lock, a ventilation and cooling fan, an Ethernet RJ45 port that connects to an Ethernet 10, 100, 100 base network. Make sure to pull the lid down to open the port fully. A USB 3.2 Gen 1 port, another USB 3.2 Gen 1 port. Lastly, we have a headset speaker jack for your headphones and mics. There's nothing to point out on the front of the laptop. It's just black and sleek. Moving to the right side, we have one USB 3.2 Type-C port with transfer speeds up to 10 gigabits per second, a USB 3.2 Gen 2 port that features power off charging, an HDMI port, And last on this side is another ventilation and cooling fan. Moving to the rear of the laptop, we have the other side of the ventilation and cooling fan. This is actually the fan for the GPU. In the middle, we have the DC-in for the power adapter. Lastly, we have another cooling fan, which is part of the CPU cooling fan. On the display panel, we have a webcam directly in the middle at the top. Going from left to right, we have a microphone, a LED light, the camera itself, and another microphone. Flipping the machine over, we have more vents for the CPU and GPU fans, some rubber feet, and the speakers for the Nitro 5. Near the bottom, your serial and model number are here. To remove the bottom, you will need to remove 12 screws. All that is needed is a precision screwdriver, and don't forget to take the proper precautions to ground yourself. After the screws are removed, put them somewhere safe, such as a cup or a bag. Me personally, I use a toy magnet, which works pretty well. As usual, I begin to find some easy points to access on the bottom half of the laptop. Make sure of this, as some have made the mistake of trying to pry the display apart. The easiest entry that I have found was in the front towards the curved area on each side. Once you get in, just work your way around. There are no tabs to break, so don't worry about that. I had a little difficulty with the right side, but once the rear was loosened, it was easy to pry away.
Perfect.
Now with the bottom removed, this is what it looks like. Now I will do a flyover of the components. This is the GPU fan, DC in port. These are the cooling pipes. I'm sure they're copper, probably colored black for cosmetic reasons. The CPU fan, Kensington lock, Ethernet RJ45, USB 3.2 Gen 1 port, USB 3.2 Gen 1 port, headphone speaker jack, M.2 port, memory expansion, Wi-Fi Bluetooth, M.2 SSD port, USB 3.2 Type-C port, USB 3.2 Gen 2 port, HDMI port, hard drive bay, SATA port, battery, left speaker, CMOS battery, right speaker. This is the top view again. I'm going to spin these fans to see how well they spin. It looks like Acer listened to the community and added better cooling. I'm so glad to see this. I can tell by playing some games that this was a big help, as I'll show you later in the video. The fins on these fans are thin metal, so I'm not going to touch them too much. Here is a close-up of the battery. The model is AP18E8M, and its capacity is 55.03 watt-hours. The following are just stills of the laptop. This is the bottom panel of the laptop. It is plastic and not metal. Along the top we have 3 vented areas. The middle area on the left and right side are 2 shields for the M.2 slot hard drives. On the bottom right is a shield for the extra storage drive. Putting the bottom back on is pretty straightforward. Make sure to press around the edges to make them snap into place. I had to go around a few times. Just as I said earlier, there are no pins or broken tabs to worry about. Remember to put the screws back in and tighten them down. Something I noticed was the caution stickers under the vents. It's a nice touch and adds to the sharpness of the laptop. Hitting this NitroSense key launches the NitroSense application. I will also have Blur Buster's UFO motion test running in the background on this 60Hz panel. NitroSense will give you some information of your CPU and GPU temps, as well as setting fan speeds and preset audio profiles. Right now the fans are set to auto and can be switched by clicking the max icon just below. The fan will immediately spin up to cool down your system. The fans can also be set individually by having one at a set speed and the other on auto. On the bottom you have power plans for AC and while on battery. Power saver, balance, that is Acer optimized, and high performance. If you're using the battery power and not plugged in, it will probably make more sense to use the balance or power saver profiles just to save a little bit more battery. Cool boost can be toggled on only if the fans are set to auto. Norton is also installed, which is a pain, so let me go ahead and disable this program. After failing to do so, I had to do a selective startup and reboot. At the top of NitroSense, you have the GeForce tab. Click this to upgrade your drivers to your graphics card. Acer True Harmony gives you the option to change your listening experience, and you'll probably get better results if you use this in conjunction with headphones instead of listening out of the regular speakers. The cogwheel will let you enable and disable sticky keys or windows and menu keys. Other options include changing temperature units and removing the timeout for the keyboard backlight. The display for this machine is an IPS display panel that is 60 Hz and it can't go any higher, but it can go lower. I don't know why, but the option is there. Here are some photos and videos at different angles on this panel. Next up, we have Acer Care Center. The green panel has your specs and serial numbers. Clicking a panel will let you access the other panels in a list format. My System will give you a summary of your system and the hardware configuration. Checkup will let you do battery calibrations, find errors in your memory, and gives you your LAN status. TuneUp will let you choose what program to start up when entering Windows and if they impact your boot time. You can delete junk files, perform a disk cleanup, and defrag. The Update tab lets you keep your system up to date. I think it may just be Acer driver related and not Windows. I could be wrong, but I've never seen a Windows update in this area. The next tab over lets you see your update history. The Support tab will let you search for problems you may have related to your machine. Clicking the search button takes you to the Acer website. Recovery Management is the most important tab as it lets you make backups and restore your system. It seems as though Acer has changed the best option that was in previous versions. The option to create a factory system recovery drive is no longer available. It's kind of a downer that they removed that option. It really came in handy. Anyway, on the top you have a bell for notifications, and to the left there is a settings tab. These are like reminders that you can turn on and off. Next up is the noise test for the fans. This is a benchmark for the NVMe drive using Crystal Disk Mark. This is the Time Spy score. This is the Firestrike score. Here is some info using CPU-Z with a benchmark and compare. Lastly, we have a few games running on this machine. When I installed MSI Afterburner, there was no CPU core clock options, so I tried to use an alternative application. When that didn't work, I had to use a plugin from Hardware 64 and Rival Tuner to get the clocks.
After that, they even had the fucking cops.
Their own sovereign religious state. Built right here.
Sometimes it's best to leave well enough alone. Yeah, well, we have laws for a reason, Sheriff. And Joseph Seed's gonna learn that.
Just go about your business. This doesn't concern you.
Sheriff, I don't like this.
Everything's fine, Hudson. Get him off the ledge! Get us the fuck out of here! Come on! Check him off! Jesus! Here you go! Hands! God damn it, Bert! Close to that room! Get on! Go!
If anyone's still out there, listen. If anyone's still alive...
What's going on?
Okay? Nice work back there. I'd be dead if it weren't for you. Got the roads blocked.
the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So here comes the AFC for their opening drive as we get a peek at the former Red Raider and 10th pick. Throwing on first down is Mahomes. To the right side, it's Kelsey. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, not on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
4 yards the pickup, first down.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's a carry for James Conner of the Steelers, and he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Offensive starters, here they are. David DeCastro, what do you think about him, Charles?
Brandon could not have been better trained at Stanford. So well schooled in the run game and the pass game, and especially in pro principles. David DeCastro could be an all-pro in the years to come.
Let's mess them up. What? Got locust activity. Hey, E-hole! Yep. Right. On it.
Oh, all you have. Your facts, your goods. The village. Clear off! Now! Let us move. Keep the Neb safe. Protect the house. Now! You are mine! In my range! No sense there. Let us go.
Are you going to go to your house?
Nothing there for me. Hold there. Let's be careful now.
This is no content. You should have run when you had the chance. Give.
The machine idles between 43 and 49C, and what's weird is that the core speed was constantly at the 4 GHz range. The only way I could get it to go down was to use the power saver profile. I searched the processes to see what could possibly be using it, and I came up empty. I'll keep my eye on this over the next few days to see if it goes down at all. I really like this laptop, And it's a big improvement over the 1050 Ti with the 7th gen i5-7300. The best thing about this machine are the thermals, and that's without undervolting, which makes a big difference. Another great thing is that now you are able to open the machine with one hand, but let it down gently as it will hit hard once it gets at a certain angle. I almost forgot, the touchpad supports 2-finger pinch, single finger press, 2-finger press, 2 and 3 finger slide, as well as using 4 fingers. One bad con before I go is this flex. It feels cheap. Lastly, I'll leave you with this quick boot to Windows. In closing, if the video helped you, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Meanpooh, out.